Greetings, Earthlings. Nanu. Who knows that? Who knows where that's from? Greetings, Earthlings. So yes, greetings from Crazy Bill TV. Today we're going to talk about maybe a few things. We're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about penning. We're going to talk about what real, yes, I said REAL, real Class 5 boating is. Act like I'm going to be talking to Nathaniel Sims, because he's a Class 5 boater. But he didn't Class 5 boat this past week. Um, I know because he videotapes everything. He didn't do Nutcracker, and I'd put $1,000 on it. He didn't run Jacob's Ladder either, because that's not just Class 5. Class 5. That's 5.3. That's 310. That's what is that? That's 7/10 to Class 6. And Nutcracker is 5.1, so that's 9/10 away from Class 6. So the fact that it's just over Class 5 means a Class 5 boater couldn't do it, because they're really a Class 5 boater. You got to remember, everything that commercial companies give you really isn't Class 5, especially after insurance companies will not insure Class 5 races, which one of the best Class 5 races in the country as far as kayaking goes is the North Fork Championships, which is ultimately launched at the very top of Jacob's Ladder. You hit Class 1 right into Class 6, Class 5 plus for sure, because it's runnable, because Class 6 is supposedly non-runnable. That's why it's called 5 plus, because very few people run it, and it's dangerous at high water. As far as the North Fork goes, there are pins in there, some literally deadly pins. People have died in Pec Metrialis. A couple years ago, I took Sprout, son of Bean Sprout, and he did a top to bottom, playing follow the leader, and thought, oh, I'll go do it again. Well, he followed the leader with creature crafters in a creature craft. Well, then he went with some cat boaters, and he didn't know the lines. And you kind of do need to know the lines in there, like it'll get you. And it did. He should have been right when he went left, and the left took him right under the big log at Pec Metrialis. It did a slow motion barrel roll, and then it stopped, and then the frame collapsed, and the oar snapped. He actually unseatbelted. I think he unseatbelted. He eventually unseatbelted, but still held onto the boat. And then when the boat came out, he came out, and it had a punctured hole in it. So it was sog dogged, and then he rode down to, what is that? Decision Beach. Decision Beach is if you're going to decide if you are or are not going to run Jacob's Ladder. With Creature Crafts, we've had one or two pins on Pec Metrialis log. We've had another pin where the backseat person actually was going underwater, so the captain reached back, was got out of the boat, out of their seat, like pulling on their life jacket, like undo the strap, and then they got out. And it took a minute to get that boat out. So yeah, Pec Metrialis is nothing to mess with, which I don't get why it hasn't been removed, cut out, or removed. Like, logs get removed all the time by the beavers. That's what we say in the whitewater world, that logs get removed by beavers. I gotta look here. Let me button up to be the professional. There we go. So I'm Class 5, bro. I'm Class 5, Class 5, Class 6, Class 7, plus. Now, if you add the plus to the Class 7, that means there's alligators and hippos. Alligators and hippos. That's what's in Zambezi. Yeah, not only do you get the Class, that's what makes it Class 7, is the hippos and the what you call it, the alligators. So yeah, but no. So you can pin on Pec Metrialis, and then also there is a few more pins. It can be anywhere, honestly, but the big one is you got to make Screaming Left Turn, which this weekend or this past week I saw online on the Blue Thumb, that someone pinned the log. Usually there ain't a log there, but when the river flushes, that's where it catches, because it's a V, and that log catches right up against it. And that's what happened. Is there's a big log there, and It's a big kind of slack water above it, but because the log extends so far into the water, it can get a hold of you faster than you think. And so that makes the pool of water like a half or a third of the water that you have to work in. And so someone got pinned, and that looked like awful fun. So, but where it's at is like, yeah, it's in the quote middle of screaming left turn, but it's not in the rapid itself. It's kind of more to the side because it's where the water splits. Now, the only reason you don't want to do why you do screaming left turn is because you normally can't go down the right channel. But as long as the right channel is clear of wood, you can actually go down the right channel. It's been done. So it's just, like I said, it's just if it's been flushed or not. And that's one of the pins. But then I've also seen people have issues in screaming left turn at the very, very bottom. If you're not watching, some R2ers, some friends of mine, N1 and N2, they went and did a fish count at the very end of screaming left turn. You make the left turn, you go all the way down the run, and then it makes a cut right to the back. Right before the cut right back to the back, they went over a rock, and they were R2, and it just bloop, one of them went in, feet up. They went in to count the fish. So that's how's it go by what's that guy that wrote the book Green Eggs and Ham? I forget what his name. Dr. Seuss. Instead of blue fish, red fish, green fish, it's one fish, two fish, three fish. Drink some water. Close your eyes, open your eyes, and count some more. So, but yeah, those are the pin factors on the North Fork. There's a pin factor if you're in the North Fork area, and you actually, what makes Big Falls dangerous is not the drops, it's the swim, because there's 3 drops. The first drop, you'll probably flush out. It could hold you, the first drop could, but you're probably going to flush. Second drop is just, it's rocky. And then you're going to have a little bit of a time, maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds. And then you hit the bottom curtain or bottom hole, which that itself could hold you into the curtain because it's pretty forceful. But I think you would flush out of that. But the problem is where all the water flushes. It flushes into the right side, into a triangulated, it looks like this, like a triangulated corner. And if you're in a kayak and you try to roll, your boat is pinned and you can't roll. So if you're upside down, it's hard to get up. So that's why it's taken some kayakers' lives, because that corner. And that's the most dangerous part of Big Falls. Don't get me wrong, there's all those other things I just mentioned, probably the top hole, the rocky swim down through, and it's been swam. I mean, they ran a raft through there, but most people set safety at the bottom falls because of the factor of if you go into that corner. Now, if you're probably just as a swimmer, you're probably just fine because you're swimming. But if you're in a kayak and you're upside down, it could be bad. If you watch any creature craft videos like mine, or like when Kabong did his run, like you get pushed up into that corner. It's all the water goes right there. It just pushes you. It all pushes right. And that's the other thing. It ain't just a triangle corner. It's that whole undercut wall for the next, I don't know, 100, 150 feet past. I kind of don't want to be under. But especially right there at the bottom of the falls is where it would be the worst. And they rate Big Falls as a class 6 because it does get ran, but it doesn't get ran by a bunch of people. So it's a good time. But yeah, it's beautiful in there when you see Big Falls. The rafting companies all portage it. It takes them about 20 minutes. They're pretty fast with it. I watched before. I'm like, wow, they've done this before. So yeah, within like 20, no more than 30 minutes, they're through Big Falls, which to me, I think would be a great lunch spot because you're at Big Falls, but they see it as an obstacle to get around. But Big Falls is awesome. If you ever get a chance to go to Boise, Idaho, you can actually hike down. I think it's at mile marker 25.5 to 27, somewhere in there. You can actually see it from the road if you know what you're looking for. At mile 24, you want to start looking. You can see it from the road and pull off and look down. And you can see Big Falls. I've hiked down Big Falls on River Right from the road, and that's like a Billy Goat trail. It's like this. It's like it's a ski chute for sure. Definitely want to be careful. But it's cool because you get to see the rapid from the right side of the river instead of the left side of the river. Kind of what you're going to see if you actually run it. That's the reason I went down to scout it, was I wanted to scout it and see it from the other side. So again, this is Crazy Bill TV, reminding you it's all class 2 plop and drop until you swim.